So we were founded, we opened our doors January 2006. We were founded by Mark Kern, who was the team lead on World of Warcraft, along with Bill Petrus, who's the creative director in WoW, Taewon Yun, who oversaw Blizzard Korea. They got the party started at the beginning of 2006. And somewhere along the line, I think it was probably June or July, we organized a team retreat. We went to Catalina. And one of the sessions that I did was to ask the team to kind of break up into small groups and to think about what success looked like for us, to really step back away from our daily tasks of getting the game going, getting our engine going, building the company, and to say, hey, many years down the road, looking back on where we are today, what would we consider success? What do we value the most? And one of the top things that everyone said, and this is really, I think, pretty special, and what I really appreciated hearing was everyone came back, and certainly we wanted to have a sustainable project so we can maintain our independence as a game studio. But more importantly, we wanted to build a relationship with our gamers. We wanted to have a strong community. We wanted to build trust. We wanted to build a relationship that would carry on beyond just Firefall, but into the future with future games. And sitting here with you guys today and seeing everyone online, I feel very fortunate. I feel like we have something very special. And I want to thank all of you guys for your support. So we thought that being that you guys were here in the studio, we'd take a little bit of time to share with you a little bit about the company, the team behind the game that you guys have been enjoying. So here we are, back in the day. In the beginning of Red 5, one thing was really clear, and it remains true to today. We are a bunch of gamers. Red 5 is filled with hardcore gamers. We play every kind of game out there. If you walk through the office, you'll see people playing PC games. We have console games. We have card games, tabletop games, War Machine, Magic the Gathering, Dungeons and Dragons, Pathfinder, you name it, we play it. We are gamers through and through. That is at the core of who we are. In fact, one of our company values is be passionate, love games. That's how important it is to us. It's something that we hold very dear to ourselves. So over the years, we started referring to ourselves as a tribe of inspired gamers. That's where we are at the heart. It's in our blood, it's in our DNA, it's who we are. We care very, very much about making positive influences on the gaming industry, making fun entertainment for all of you to enjoy. Firefall was not dictated by a marketing team or a business plan or by market research. It came from us. It came from a bunch of gamers in Southern California who said, hey, we love shooters. What's the future of shooters? What's our dream game? This is the game we want to go home and play. And it started first and foremost with building a kick-ass online shooter. And then we wanted to add to it and grow the experience over time by adding elements from different genres like MMOs and RTSs. But all of it starts with the team, the tribe. We call ourselves a tribe because we really are a close-knit team. We're a close-knit group of individuals. We care about each other, we support each other, we help each other out, we encourage each other. And through we've shared in this experience for the last 7.5 years. We work hard. We care very much about the product that we're building. We care very much about making sure you guys are happy and making sure that our gamers online are having fun and enjoying the experience. Pay no attention to the fact that Ben has nothing on his screen here. We do work very hard. The team puts in crazy hours. We work nights and weekends. People care so very much about this project. But we also play hard. And I think this is something that's always been very important to me. I believe that we are in the business, ultimately, we are in the business of imagining, designing, engineering, testing, and deploying fun, right? That's our job. We build fun, we package it up, and we're releasing it to the world to enjoy. And I feel like if we ourselves are not having fun, if we're not enjoying our workspace, our environment, each other, if we can't get along well, I think we're falling short on our potential. We're not reaching our full opportunity for delivering fun. So we have fun across the board. This is at one of our company offsites. Every couple of years, we organize a company retreat to Catalina. This was in 2011. We had the Christite Challenge, where we actually really brought some of the mechanics from Firefall to real life, where we had armies established throughout the team. We broke them up. We had different crazy, silly team activities, team building activities, build the tallest Sin Tower, have the thumper drop, mechanics improve, so forth and so forth, that ultimately led us to Catalina Island, which is only 45 minutes away from here, and yet it feels like we're on the other side of the globe. It's a wonderful place for a team retreat. And the winning team, I think this was Team Deuce. Team Deuce? What's that? Well, they won fair and square. And here in the middle you see their very own chunk of Christite, which is on display at the front of the office now. So we have fun. Our culture is so important to us. we don't take ourselves too seriously, and I think this is really, people who know us probably already know this, but I think it's important for people to recognize, like, we're in the business of building games, guys. Like, this isn't, we're not making banking software, we're building fun, we're building entertainment. We don't take ourselves too seriously. We try to have a lot of fun in everything we do. This is Scott and I kicking off the Christite Challenge, being silly and having fun. But at the end of the day, what really matters is we are a team. We stick together, we support each other, we back each other up, we help each other out, and we enjoy what we do. Okay, so what are we doing here? We're in the business of building what?
Games.
Fun, games. We're building entertainment. We're building fun. This is a prototype box that we made back in the day when Firefall was still going to be a boxed game that was sold on the shelves. This was way before the change in business model in the industry of going free to play. But we were called Terrifier. Isn't that crazy? Terrifier. We went through 4 or 5 name changes. I think there was a period of time where we tried Prometheus. And this is way before the movie. This was back in 2006 or 2007. We tried Prometheus. I think that was Mark's idea. And everyone on the team kept spelling it differently, different ways and differently. It was like, this is not going to work. So we went back to Terrifier, and then we went to Fire, and then we went to Fury. And then another game came out called Fury, so we had to change the name again. Ultimately, we settled on Firefall, which was really ideal because it was based on the lore. It came from the game itself, which was nice. But we're in the business of building fun. Fun is probably one of the hardest things to think about building because it is so subjective. I Googled it, I looked it up, and there is an algorithm for fun. But it's pretty complicated, right? Actually, there is no algorithm for fun. It is so subjective, depending on your audience, depending on who's playing. Fun might be something over here or it might be over here. It's really hard to zero in on the fun, but ultimately, that's what we care about most. We care first and foremost about building a fun experience before anything else. This was a little hard to program in. If you think about it, it really is just, what, 3.7 trillion ones and zeros that we care about. Getting those aligned right on the installer. It's just a bunch of ones and zeros. It shouldn't be that hard, but it really is more difficult than that. So the way we approach it, and this is kind of a part of our process, it's part of how we approach game development and building fun, is to really look at implementing a feature or a piece of content, getting it into the game as quickly as we can, even if it's just for internal testing. Maybe it's not ready for prime time, maybe it's not ready for closed beta testing. We get it into the build, we have an internal play test, we give feedback, and then we go back to the design and we iterate on it until we feel like we've reached a level of fun that we're happy with. How do you measure fun? The best way we've found has been to ask the question on a scale of 1 to 10, how much fun did you have with this map, with this plasma cannon, with this fighting this creature, with this experience? We start with the core of the game and we build outwards. One of our designers, Xenogenic, came up with a test he called the wall test. Early on, when we barely had one gun, he said, hey, this assault rifle should feel good blasting a wall. And when we get that fun level way up, when it's just shooting a wall and nothing else, imagine how much fun it's going to be fighting another player or fighting a creature and so forth. And that's how we've really developed Firefall. Start with the core experience, layer on additional features and additional content. Ultimately, every person might have their own scale. Some of you might never give a feature or a game a 10 out of 10 because that's perfection. And some people think that perfection is unattainable. But what really matters is not what range you use as an individual, but the trend. That over time, if we do a beta patch and the fun levels go up and the fun factor goes up, ultimately we're trending in a positive direction, right? And that's the best we can hope for as far as measuring the fun of the game. When we finally reach the right side of this graph, we have happy people, having fun, enjoying the game. I really wanted to have Matt Phobos do a little dance here, but I figured that probably was going to take too much time. Our feedback loop is very specific to kind of the process that we have embraced. At Red 5, we use a software development methodology known as Agile. Have you guys heard of this? Agile software development. More traditional software development uses something called a waterfall approach. Companies like IBM, Microsoft, they invented this approach back in the 70s and 80s. And really, it starts with a spec, a 150-page document on how plasma cannons should work. And it goes to engineering, and they build it, and then it gets tested, and it gets deployed. Because there's so much effort put into this long-term planning with project managers and producers and 3,000-line task lists, it's a lot harder to make a change. It's a lot harder to hear from our players that, hey, we don't really like plasma cannons. Well, now we need to go back to the speccing process. We need to go back and review this and make sure that the entire team knows that we're changing directions. And I liken it to a big barge. There's a tremendous amount of momentum, a tremendous amount of power behind this because the entire team is aligned behind a spec, behind a project plan, behind a schedule. But guess what? If we learn something, if we discover something along the way, it takes a lot of time to change directions. Does that make sense? We here at Red 5, as you guys all should be well aware, think that jetpacks are pretty darn cool. Not only are they badass and mean looking and they're a lot of fun, but they're agile, they're flexible, they allow you to turn on a dime, to be more responsive, to react to feedback. And that's how we approach developing Firefall. We release builds as frequently as we can to you guys, our players, people online. And then we adjust, we course correct, we improve, we iterate based off things like internal reviews, our survey feedback, beta forums, and our online tool called User Voice. We care very, very much about feedback. After every major patch, we send out a survey, and we have gotten thousands and thousands of responses. We collate the data, we look at the fun numbers, we look at the specific requests and ideas on how to make the game more fun. We sit down with a team, we prioritize things, and we use that to help adjust our direction for subsequent releases. What this allows us to do is to be very flexible, to make sure that we're building the game for you guys. Ultimately, that's all that matters. We're building the game for you. We're building the game for our community. But it's still rooted in a process that allows us to continue to make progress and to be very efficient and effective as a team. We have feature teams here at Red 5. Feature teams are built up of cross-discipline people. We have artists, designers, programmers. Sometimes we'll have marketing involved. Sometimes we'll have community on a team. It really depends on what the feature team is. But the idea is that they're empowered and they have everyone on the team that they need to be able to be efficient and effective at attacking a new feature, a new piece of content, a new part of the game. They ultimately make the decision on how to implement new features, ladder boards, leaders, new weapons, new battle frames. It's completely up to this small group of individuals on the team to execute. Since we've adopted this approach, our efficiency's gone up at least 100%. Honestly, like we are so much more effective as a team, so much more efficient as a team. Imagine if we had producers and project managers and a schedule that was planned out the next 2 years, and you're in the shower this morning and you have a sudden inspiration, or you're playing on beta last night and you have a sudden inspiration for an idea on a weapon or a new feature. The process could be that you come in and you talk to your manager and they bring it up at the dev leads meeting. It gets put on a schedule that's scheduled out 6 months down the road. And by the time we actually get around to implementing it, the idea has kind of lost its momentum, right? But instead, we're a very agile team. Everyone is empowered to help make the game better. So imagine now you have this idea, you show up at work, you take the time to prioritize your schedule today to go prototype this feature in the tools that we already have, or to talk to the engineer who could make this happen. And maybe, just maybe, in half an hour, using the existing tech that we have, you're able to test out the idea and realize this is a pretty cool idea. Much faster turnaround time for improving the game. This is how we do project planning then. Instead of having a project file or an Excel spreadsheet with 2,000 tasks broken down to the hours, which would never be very realistic, we have a product backlog, and you can think of this kind of like a refinery. We've gone out into the world, we have all of these big, beautiful chunks of ore, and we know that inside this ore, inside the rock, we have crystite, or we have some valuable resource, but we're not going to take the time to refine it right now because we know that this stuff comes later. For example, down here we have army bases, we have more PvP maps, we have more battle frames, we have vehicles, vehicle combat, we have a whole bunch of content and ideas that we want to build in Firefall, and we're trying to be smart about how we prioritize our time. Ultimately, you know, there are only so many hours in the day. So we focus first on the stuff at the top of this refinery. As we get closer to a release, let's say open beta, we want to make sure that we have certain features, certain tech, certain content in the game. We move this up to this release. And we've broken it down into more specific features and specific content. So instead of a big open wide, hey, open world PvP, we might break it down into base capturing as a more specific feature. And then when it's time for our team to start actually executing on a feature, they break it down, the team themselves break it down into individual tasks. These are actionable tasks that are a day to 2 days long that one individual person can own and run with. And as soon as we're done with that release, we ship it, we patch beta, which you guys all experience, you patch the client, and then we move on to the next sprint. By moving the bigger chunks of work, we refine it down into individual tasks. So in this way, we have continuous development, and there is no finish line. And that's something that's really exciting for me, is to look at, you know, when we reach open beta, which we will be in, 39 days, It's not the finish line for us. It's not like a traditional boxed game that we now put on the shelves in Best Buy and we're done, we go on vacation. It's really kind of a new starting line for us. Closed beta was a huge step for us. Open beta is the next big milestone. But we have years and years of content and ideas planned for Firefall, so long as you guys are enjoying the game and playing it. We've said it many times before, but I just want to reiterate how important your feedback is to us. Everyone watching the stream right now, the 10 of you guys here, your feedback is so important to us. We believe very strongly in community-driven development. We have a lot of, we spend a lot of time reading the forums and looking at user voice and hearing from you guys. So please, please, please keep your ideas coming.